Unafit na Marvin?
Bro, unajua nimeka how long na iPhone nikiona tukireview mafone zako.
That's the S8.
S7.
Yo.
5 years saizi. Na kuanga huu mseo nikishika tech, I stay with it, sijui kwa nini. So, before this, it was the BlackBerry Passport. So, in a span of 9 years, nimekuwa na 2 phones only. How crazy is that?
In a span of 9 years, I think I done nimepita 20.
Najua. And speaking of, easy phones unazitoa wapi, bro?
It's interesting. Kuna zenye huwa na buy na kuna zenye kampuni huwa zina send over. So, find a phone that's interesting to talk about. Kama sai recently, there's a phone that has been launched by a company called CMF. Unajua venye sai all phones side ya nyuma ni kama ni the same too, like just camera layout hivyo and nothing much in terms of design. So what hii phone ya CMF inaitwa phone 1 inakupatia ability ya kuchange back cover. Okay, not back, achana na case. Hii cover ya nyuma, the ability to change it. So inakujadi na screws. So like ukiona red ikubambi unatoa, unaweka color ingine. Alafu iko na other attachments. Okay, kuna watu wanasema ni gimmick features, but they are real nice features. Alafu the phone only goes for Kenyan money, ni about like $30K, $200, $199 actually. So give it or take, juu importation na hizo vitu zote $30K. So it's a nice phone, it's an entry product. So kitu kaa hiyo ndio naweza mimi mwenyewe nijibaie nikuje ni review nione iko aje. Then zingine ni kampuni tu ina send. So nafika tu home, kiateka na niambia uko na package. Naenda sometimes hata sijui nini nafungua napata tu either simu ama any tech device. So yeah, kuna kuanga either na contact hapo. So I call nini maybe what's needed. Juu sometimes nataka pia kujua in depth ya hiyo kitu kama let's say it's this Vivo phone. What's the selling feature? Selling feature yake ni camera. Okay, well, it takes really good photos but videos na unapata upon your downside. So I pivot na ile angle yenye unafeel audience itabambika, but also tell them the truth again. As much as ina take picture fiti, ukienda kushoot videos inaweza kusumbua kidogo. So
na companies are okay with your transparency with your audience.
Kama umenitumia device, I will be as transparent as possible. Hakuna kitu na feature. The only thing maybe I can say, I just omit something. I decide, let's say, let me not just mention it at all. If it's something controversial and might maybe tarnish brand kitu kayo. But msekiuliza kwa comments, I will reply to it. Like nimwambia, some say, let's say, na talk about here, niambia, how is the video quality? Naambia, it only has a 108 megapixel camera yake. I can't recommend it to shoot. Maybe use this other phone. Kitu kama hiyo. So, yeah, companies do send phones over. Some I buy them. And I try as much as possible to be true to my audience. Like niwaambie ile ukweli venye iko. Yeah, hiyo ndio inaweza fanya tuna survive kwa hii industry juu not every phone is good. Not every company is also good at the same time.
The first time I saw your videos, for some reason nilikuwa nadhani wewe ni South Africa until nikaanza kupay attention. You know, as in the Kenyan accent, you can easily pick up on it.
Yeah, sure.
So I was like, hey. And the only reason ilifanya nifikirie you're not Kenyan was how you're editing your videos. Videos zako ziko really dope.
Ala.
Because you know there's that Kenyan style of content creation. Almost everyone copies.
Yeah.
And there's a way hata ukiangalia hizo edits you're like, this is a Kenyan thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Yako haina hiyo style kabisa. There's a way uki-edit tu hizo, like even from your profile picture actually. Wacha tuanzie tu hapo. Both on Insta or on all your social pages. Ziko the same, ama ziko na that, I don't know why you did it, but mi niko na avatar yangu tu hapo.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, this guy, na nimekuwa nikiobserve for a while. In fact, I was like, I got my next idea of a phone from you, and I'll tell you the phone.
Okay.
Can you even guess it? It's a flagship.
It's a flagship. Okay, no, I've handled a lot. It's a flagship. It's either... Okay.
It costs
iOS.
$300. It's not iOS. I'm not going back there.
Why not iOS?
Haukusikia scandal ya ujuzi?
Yeah.
The privacy.
Photos will delete kitambo zina come to surface. Well, do you know that nothing you delete is ever deleted. Zinakwanga
Yes.
tu stored somewhere.
Yes.
So if they decide to leta hizi vitu to the surface, it's possible. So yep, that happens. Okay, that's why you're not going for iOS.
No.
Even Android is not safe.
And actually, to be honest, iOS is a rip-off now that you think of it, because I remember my first iPhone I got was a 3GS. Your time, I even don't think people were into iPhones.
Yeah,
My
that
mom
was
got
it.
me that when nikiwa high school. So I even didn't hatukuwa tunajua App Store. WhatsApp was for going for $1.99. An uncle of mine lazima ningetumia kadi yake kuipurchase before ikuwe free. So by the time, I think ile culture ya iPhone ilianza kukufa when Steve Jobs died, because there was no more innovations to it. Because the difference between 3GS and iPhone 4 ilikuwa huge. The difference between 4 and 4S was huge. And then sasa kutoka around 5 all the way to saizi, utaona phones lazima zigo through like 5 or 3 generations by the time walete a major breakthrough.
Something.
Because saizi kutoka, technically speaking, kutoka 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Guys are like, this is just iOS na badlika.
It's the same thing when I change to software. Well, but wacha ni argue from 2 points of view. Yes, hakuna that major innovation ama breakthrough. Juu tunaweza tukasema kwa hiyo curve ya innovation nika tushafika plateau. Like you can't invent anything else. Tushafanya kamera zimekuwa simu, hata si the other way around, simu ziko na kamera. What else can you fit in a phone? Tushaweka the biggest batteries, tushaweka the best cameras available, the best displays from Samsung. So you find nothing, okay, let me not say nothing else, but to our level of thinking at this time in 2024, nothing else ungeongeza kwa simu ikuwe like enyewe this is something big. Unajua kitambo uweke tu fingerprint, like yo, that's amazing. Unajua kitambo simu zilikuwa za button, weke tu fingerprint, that's big. Weke tu kamera mbili, that's big at the same time. Ama useme from the buttons to the touch screen, juu Apple ndio ili invent hizo touchable phones. That's why I think they became big. That was innovation your time, but right now what can you do? Ukisema ni 120 Hz refresh rate, kuna mtu ushagua juu 120 Hz ni nini. Ukisema iko na always on display haijizimi, that's see it ni feature itafanya, oh my god. Yeah, so vitu tu wanaongeza saini vitu ndogo ndogo. Yes, so Steve Jobs time alienda, alafu Tim Cook akaingia, pia hakuna kitu, hadi mwingine akiingia sidhani they will do much. Even it's still the same with other companies at the same time. Samsung, from Samsung S21 pia hizo zimebaki tu the same, S21 Ultra, 22, 23 na 24, na 25 inatoka later this year. Samsung Fold inatoka leo actually. Hadi unaona hizo foldables bado tu they are the same, and their new product is in a fold, but the design wise it's still the same. Cameras meteremka hivyo za Samsung, nothing else they can add.
So the flagship phone will review, and I was like, this is the one I'm going to get. Was an Infinix.
The Infinix Note 40.
Yeah, the one that was retailing for $300.
Yeah,
It has a lot of features by the way.
that is
Then-
a really good phone.
Then kutoka kwako, and I was like, just because of course kila mtu akona their perception of Infinix and hizi Tecno, but then again nikaanza tu kuenda kufanya reviews after ya kuona yako, and I was like, a lot of people wame review your phone and they're actually saying that it's the cheapest phone that actually itakupatia value for your money.
Do you know what Infinix did? Or let me just call it Transion as the company. Transion is company yenye inatengeneza Tecno, Oraimo, Itel na Infinix zote pamoja. So what they did when they were coming up na phone lineup yao, walipea Tecno ndio ikuwa like the flagship of your lineup. Infinix ifocus more on battery na charging speeds, then Itel ikuwe the budget offering, then Oraimo for accessories zote. So wakati wali launch with hizo processors akina MediaTek, hizo vitu zote, Infinix ilijulikana for hiyo charging speeds na good battery. Hiyo ndo ilikuwa like focus yao. But they have good charging speed, good battery, but unapata processor wanatumia ama chipset wanatumia, it's let me not call it mediocre, but not up to par with whatever the phone can do. so napata iko na hizi issues za overheating, na ni simu mob sana za Infinix zilikuwa zina overheat, then wana producing simu kama 3 in a year. So with that wakajaza market na simu mob, simu yes zina overheat, wacha tuseme hivyo. So perception ya wasee ikakuwa hiyo Infinix ni kaa pasi. Sasa ukijaribu kuambia msee an Infinix phone can do this, hata amini. Like jina ni kaa walichoma kwa market in a way, but sasa hiyo wanajaribu kuisafisha, especially with that Note 40. I had the Note 30, I still have them in the house. Note 30, comparing the generational gap between Note 30 na Note 40, it's really big. Wireless simu ina charge na 30, okay, on paper ina charge na 46 minutes. But ni ile situation yenye nimeamka napata simu iko 2%, naeka kwa moto, naenda kuoga, by the time namaliza iko kitu 70. Hiyo 70 sitanitosha the whole day. Na bado tu iko sawa. Like that's an Infinix phone. Hadi iPhone haifanyi hivyo, man. And it's the credit that not so many people are ready to accept.
It was because of the first time vile walingia kwa market wakaribu jinao na hiyo pasi, and then
exactly
it was all hell loose kutoka hapo, because even me at the first time I was like usiniambie story ya Infinix ama Tecno, but ever since hizi phone zao mpya zimetoka, and speaking of, I didn't know even Oraimo, Itel, Tecno walikuwa in the same umbrella company.
Yeah, it's usually the same company.
Siko najua
it's called Transion.
Oraimo kwanza nilikata kila kitu imetoka kwao saizi, everything.
Why?
Sioni
everything with an Oraimo watch.
Oraimo watch kuna nilikuwa nimecheki juzi kwa internet walikuwa na the what's it called, clippers. Clippers, because nilikuwa nazitafuta. I was like, these guys literally have kila kitu, charger.
Yep.
I was even thinking, why don't they launch their own phones? But then again, unaniambia ziko
ziko under the same company. So Transion, Oraimo focuses on accessories. Hizo chargers, power banks, clippers, blenders, anything accessory. Sini kama pia Samsung venye wako na, although kwa Samsung wanazitanga consumer electronics, wako na hizo fridge, washing machine, hizo TVs, manini, but they still have the phone lineup na the consumer electronics. So I think that's what Transion is doing, but offering budget-friendly ones to Africa, because that's where they have the biggest market. Do you know actually Transion is not known in China? It's a Chinese company, but in China even nobody uses it. Like it's not even known.
Jeez.
So their target audience is, for lack of a better word, third world countries. So kuko Southeast Asia na Africa.
And kuna a lot of Chinese phones people don't know about, because pia nilienda down that rabbit hole. And they're actually better phones. Ni vile tu hazijakuja zikamarketiwa hapa.
Isi sound kana advertise isimu kwa podcast. Go on, lakini this is the Vivo V30. It's also a Chinese phone. Unajua pali na feel inaweza compete vizuri, unaona Samsung. So they produce flagship hizo ma S20 something Ultra. But bado wako na the A70s, the A60s, the 50s. This is something that can beat hizo ma A60s, A70s, because camera yake ni literally good. And most people, kuna 3 things most people consider, ni according to a poll nilieka on IG: the battery life, the camera, na processor. It's using a processor chipset like a Snapdragon 732. Ni ya last year though, but bado ni flagship processor taka ni ya last year. So inamaanisha hadi ikipiga picha inaweza ikaprocess vizuri. Inamaanisha battery life ni standard 5000 milliamperes, but it's a phone that if they did proper marketing, wange beat the Samsung, the mid-tier Samsungs vizuri sana.
How much does it go for?
60k.
Jeez.
Yep. It goes for 60k in the market. No, unaona hizo ma Samsung zingine ni the same price to 50, 60, 40 something nini. But ni venye tu utaongelesha consumers. Alafu it understands the black tone, the black color. Jizi simu zingine za China zina kuoshanga ka Oppo. Sorry Oppo kama na watch, but anyway.
But Oppo pia walikuwa wamekuja in the market with a bang.
Yeah, but it was curated for the China market, not the African market. That's why camera zao unapata iko na so many filters. Do you know, interesting, they came to learn that in China or in the western side, they prefer filters sana. That's why simu zao zinajanga hizo vitu. They even put on makeup, especially guys. Napata mpaka makeup. it's culture, it's their culture, I think, let me call it that. So when they're producing phones for them, they have to cater to their needs. Sisi Africa, ukiambia mtu anze kupaka, mwanaume anze kupaka hizo nini, itaka weird. So, yeah.
Na kuna hii story ingine uliona ya I don't know which phones that ukizoom straight up to the moon inakuletea like a close up until tukakuja kujua hiyo ni filter pia wameweka. You can easily do that on a white spot.
That was Samsung.
Jeez. No, if you ask me, that's a marketing genius, lakini at the same time, that's being a con man.
Yes and no at the same time. Juu, okay, what happened, ama my understanding ya hiyo theory venye ilikuwa, yes, sis camera unaweza ukazoom up to a certain point, then the moon, one thing about the moon, we only see one side of the moon, juu iko locked to the earth. As earth ina rotate, hatutaiona a different side of the moon, hiyo tu side moja. Naonanga ka inakanga sijui mtu ameshikilia mtoto.
Me usually say it's a dragon, but anyway.
Kila mtu akona nini. Anyway, so unaona haichangingi, it's that side only. So the fact that the moon is locked to the earth, so hata upige picha na from which side of the earth, it's still the same image. So ako like, okay, let us tengeneza hii kitu mse akizoom tumpatie tu the same image. So yeah, it was genius, but
a rip-off.
Yeah, you're not actually taking a picture of the moon. But ulikuwa na zoom. Okay, yeah. Juu kuna mse aliyekadi machungwa ina hang tu hivyo. Kajaribu kuizoom na ilimletea moon. The same image akipiga pia nje.
Jeez, wanajaribu kuhack the moon landing thing ya US, but anyway, these guys.
Kuna ingine di inakuanga scam wakati wana market phone zao na unaona wanaizifanyia near the swimming pool. So kwa kichwa yako mentally unaweza dhani hii simu ni water resistant, kitu kayo juu wameshoot near the ocean ama kwa swimming pool, but it's still a rip off. Juu most by the way unajua phones are not even waterproof, they're actually water resistant to a certain level, they're not waterproof. So yes, unaweza ukaingia nao kwa maji, unaweza ukashoot whatever you're shooting, but wanasemanga maybe to a depth of 30 meters usipite hapo. Za kitambo ilikuwa to a depth of like 5 meters, so unaona swimming pool most inakuanga 5 to 7 meters, haiwezi enda depend kabisa, so unaona hapo hivyo iko safe. But now ukienda chini zaidi unaharibu simu.
What if simu yako like iende through repair, bado itakuwa na hiyo water resistant capability?
No, once it has been opened,
that's it,
it may lose the resistivity. Juu factors hiyo resistivity tu ni the glue around it, the glue between the screen and the frame. So hiyo glue ikitolewa, you can't guarantee that mwenye atakuwekea industrial standard ya from the manufacturer, ya ataweka tu yake
aftermarket.
Yeah, aftermarket glue, so it's not the same. Okay, yes, inaweza ika resist some water, but not as
I thought so. I was like, imagine sasa ulete hiyo kitu Mkenya hapa mwenye tayari ashaifungua alafu ameweka tu like a normal silicone juu yake. It's not going to be water resistant. But aside from your content, nimeona content yako na nikasema this guy how he produces, uko na script kama mimi, script zangu zote zinakuanga hapa. Naandikanga script nakuanga hapa perfectionist down to a fault.
Really?
Sasa tunarecord hizo. Have you seen those clips I've shot on TikTok? By the time ni shoot hiyo kitu, I think ndo kwa nimemaliza 7 hours mostly yenye imechukuliwa na kuandika script kwanza, because I want to make my story flow.
True.
The other side is editing, and then sasa kutoka hapo posting is very easy, but script ndio ichukua a lot of time. So there was a time tumechukua almost 7 hours unaona the recent one ya finance bill, where I was trying to connect finance bill, IMF and stuff. Hiyo tulishoot mara mbili, because the first time nilishoot there was I guess something on my nose, and the guys were like, here's one again. I was like, nah, we have to go do it again. We have to do it again. I was like, no, acha tuifanye tu fit. And the good thing ni once we did it again, ilienda ikashoot. And the thing with this part of content creation, si kitu nilikuwa naona. I used to be behind the scenes guy. I started with developing products around media. So nikiwa hiyo ni in around 2018, nili come up with the idea, if food is sold online, things are sold online in e-commerce na nini, what is that one thing haijaanza kuuzwa online as much as, so tickets are being sold online, right? Tickets to events, but events itself are not sold online. Now do you understand where I'm going with this idea? And then that's when I thought, what if we could sell like live events online? If something live is happening, like exclusive to one network, we can sell it online. And that's what you call the pay-per-view model. You know of pay-per-view, right?
Yeah.
So nikaanza kuchora that plan kutoka 2018, 2019, and then 2020 I funded the prototype with 100,000. And then I went to a popular media personality. Dante ndasema jina yake, but tuta mute his nini, because I never like mentioning this guy. So nilipelekea idea to Kibe akiwa Kiss FM. Nikamwambia hawa watu wanakuwa underutilized. This is how you can make content, this is how you can be independent. Come and launch your own radio station on Front Seat. The app was called Front Seat. Akasema, not only do I want to be part of this, I want to be a shareholder as well. Nikamwambia no problem. So the idea was create an online radio station where people can subscribe to you. Mimi ndakutengenezea the payment gate, I will make the platform for you. All you have to do is just stream seamlessly, and from your 100% cut, mimi nachukua 20%.
Okay. That's it. Like, it's under paywall for someone to consume a content they have.
Yes. Unaona? So at the first, the idea was good and it's easy to think of it. Hata mtu anaweza sema si kitu naweza jifanyia peke yangu.
Yeah.
So eventually he went that way. Aka launch Rogue Radio, and it wasn't part of the idea. So down the line things happened. Kila mtu alimove pande yake, of which mimi nilikuwa najaribu kuleta the idea of, yo guys, you can easily monetize your content. Kuna venye ukishoot, you have to pay attention to quality. People will only pay for quality and exclusivity. That's it. Unaona? So ilienda hivyo to a point I was even giving people scripts. Cheki, this is how you write content. This is the only way watu wanaweza lipia content yako if it's only good.
Yeah, it has to be.
So I kept giving people those advices mpaka nikaanza kuandikia watu script, mpaka nikaanza until pole without me realizing, nikaanza tu kuingia kwa production pole without me realizing. So around like 6-8 months ago, I'll tell you how I started this TikTok content. I remember I told a friend of mine who's a creator, yo bro, this is how you can create content. Make a script, make cutscenes in a way people will relate to what you're talking about. This guy was listening, was like, yo Naz, unakuanga na great ideas, but bro, ushaifikiria tu ujifinance hiyo peke yako, just do it yourself, because to be honest, I never see your vision. I was like, sawa. I didn't take it like an offense. I was like, oh, sawa. So then vile nimerudi home, I was like,
that's actually a good trait. Like, accepting criticism. I just say watu wengi who accept.
Ukweli.
Unapea msee anajam.
Yeah, you're right.
Sometimes I tend even to keep quiet.
Most of the time actually nikikuambia kitu, I'm like, bro, give me your critics on this. I never tell you give me your opinion, give me your critics. So nikaenda home. Kufika home nikaona I have a camera. I had a, what's it called? T6, okay, it's 750D, but it's since kuna different markets zinaitwa different things, but it's a 750D, it's a Canon. So nilikuwa nayo Canon, nikakuwa na Boya lapel mics, and I had a laptop, and I was like, let me give it a test run. So nikasema the things I talk about, conspiracy, moon landing, aliens, flat earthers, let's do that. So the first video 700 views, second video 700, 800 views, third video 800 views, fourth video, fifth video, because it was in part 1 and part 2. Hii sasa ndo ikaanza kuniweka kwa limelight, because I touched a nerve of a certain community. I didn't know they existed. Nilikuwa nadhani tu, these guys are just phantom.
Flat earthers, those guys then.
I didn't know, but I didn't know Kenya kuna like a strong community of flat earthers and people who are very...
Oh, in Kenya they are.
Okay. Bro, enda kwa comments uangalie.